Hey, here we are, just outside of Fairbanks, Alaska, town way up north, and this is the Great Alaskan Pipeline. This pipeline you see here, I'm sure you've heard of it. It stretches 800 miles, carries oil from up north in Prudhoe Bay and comes down, brings it to Valdez, a town down there, and it just carries the oil, man. And it's just look at just for oil, just look at all the preparation man has put into for man things, and just to carry the oil, and you just think about the kingdom of God, just how little effort the church world has put into bringing the kingdom of God to places. We haven't put very much effort at all. This pipeline here crosses streams, like 800 of them, 800 miles. This thing can go over huge mountains, I think it probably does. Here in Alaska there's a lot of mountains, and so it'd have to do that. But with the kingdom of God, we've seemed to have neglected carrying it, because it's important to God. And speaking of the kingdom of God, to God it's very important subject, very important topic. And I think in the church world today, we've lost a lot of the importance of the kingdom of God and why it's so important. If you look at Jesus' ministry, pretty much that was his sermon. I think his main point, what the kingdom of God is at hand. The kingdom of God is here. In fact, that's the gospel. We say the gospel today is that when you die, you go to heaven, but that's not the gospel. According to Jesus, it's the kingdom of God is here. You can walk into God now, and I think we've got a lot away from that in the church world today. And you don't hear it preached very often, and stuff like that. And it's so important because of just a basic understanding of kingdoms and how they work. Just a basic understanding shows how we can get revival, and a lot of the stuff that prevents us from getting revival. Just looking at a kingdom, what do we know about kingdoms? Well, first we know they have a king. That's really the only thing we need to know. A king and how we treat that king. If you're going to ask a king to come, which if in church, isn't that what we're doing? Every church service, we're asking God to come down, and he's our king. We are asking him to come. Most churches, why they can't have revival is because they're asking a king to come to a different kingdom. We realize really there's only two different kingdoms. There's God's kingdom and Satan's kingdom, and we exist in one or the other. And a lot of times we ask God to come down to our churches, which are operating in the kingdom really of Satan, with attitudes and with ways we treat each other, with ways we treat God. We're treating him like he is another king, like he's not our king, and so the way we treat him, it's like we're asking him to come down to a different kingdom. And that's why we can't have revival. A lot of times we don't even know it, that we're doing this and that we're treating God this way, and what if we would really begin to treat God like our king? What if we would really begin to treat him like, hey, God, we are simply asking you to come down to your kingdom. It's not a mind-boggling process anymore, because now he's not going to foreign territory. It's not like he's coming from the spiritual realm of heaven to earth. It's not working like that. He's simply walking around in his own kingdom. Now he's just coming down to his own atmosphere, his own people that he knows. Now we don't have to knock on the door and he goes, I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. Now he can come knock on our door. And he knows who we are. We know who he is. And so, looking at church, just remember that it is us asking God to come down to our kingdom. And we prepare the way before service. And then during service, suddenly it's, God, we've prepared this kingdom for you. Come down. This is an ever-increasing kingdom. What can be increased today? And so that's just my thoughts on the kingdom of God.